Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we are about to react on a video. It's a response by Brother Farid to the response of CP, and in which the CP is responding to the Brother Farid, in which Brother Farid is responding to the CP's false argument. That means it is a reaction of the reaction, or the response of the response of the response, which is pretty amazing to watch, at least. And if you can't learn anything from it, then still I believe that you will be understanding something which is pretty common, and that is that why do we need to study our own religion, and why it is necessary? Because in this response you will find out that how so a person called Christian Prince, he he argues on the basis of a dhaif hadith, and a miskin leaves Islam because he didn't even knew that this is a dhaif hadith, but he believes in on his false misleading arguments, and he leaves the Islam. Pretty sad. If it's not just sad, then you cannot comprehend how sad it is on the first place. But yet, let's see how Brother Farid got the response, and he's responding to that response, which is even amazing. So let's start.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Finally, after, 20 something videos, we finally have a response. And, late's better than never, right? But, CP, you've only responded to 2 out of the 70 lies that I've caught you on, so you have a lot of catching up to do. But you know what makes me happy about his response video is that finally you get to see CP going at my arguments, trying to defend himself, and now you get to decide if he did a good job in defending himself or not. He tries to refute my points at the best of his ability. Get this though, I thought that I was doing something with my videos. I thought that I was taking him down, but it turns out that this was all according to CP's plan. He actually tricked me into making videos about him.
The prophet did not say that. The Christian Prince, he tricked the guy. I tricked you too, and I made you make videos about me.
Yeah, that's right. CP actually tricked me into making 30-something videos about him.
Amazing thing here is that even even if he got refuted by Brother Farid, his ego is still like on the rise somewhere, because he's still thinking like, oh, I did it. And the funny thing is, people are watching him saying such a like even if I say funny, you will be laughing, you will question on my humor. It's not even funny. It's just it is just pathetic. You can't even say anything other than that for that kind of lame thing. But it's okay. It's okay. Let's see how Brother Farid got responded.
For those that don't know what's going on, I initially released a video about Christian Prince in which he lies to a Muslim using a weak hadith and causes that Muslim to leave Islam. Now, the hadith basically goes, there is no one whom Allah will admit to paradise, but Allah will marry him to 72 wives, 2 from Huris and 70 from his inheritance from the people of hell, all of whom will have desirable front passages, and he will have a male member that never becomes flaccid. Right. Now, I've made 3 accusations against Christian Prince in this video, and I'll be showing you how Christian Prince failed to respond to all 3 of these.
Christian Prince does not step back when it comes to the using of strong language. In this video, he will be using it, so make sure that even before you reach it out, there is a caution that says strong language alert. So make sure that you are not going through this video while family members and other people or children's are around. So make sure to care about that one. And here we begin.
Here's my first accusation.
And now he described to us that they are very beautiful to the point you will be crazy when you see their boobs and their vagina. Excuse my language.
Okay, so first of all, the hadith doesn't say that. The hadith doesn't say that you're going to go crazy while looking at their parts. Now, it may come as a surprise to you, but CP in his 23-minute response ignored this point completely. So, what does that say? The second accusation.
Why does like what do you think about why those women Allah will take them from hell? Why they are coming from hell?
Because they're the dirtiest.
Because they are what?
The dirtiest.
Because they are hookers. They are
Yeah.
expert. They are expert in sex. So Allah will choose for you
Mhm.
from the warehouse of hell the best of the hookers who they are very good in all the skills of sex. We don't know, will give details.
This has nothing to do with them being good in sex or anything like that. Rather, the Arabic specifically states that these will be good women because the example that is brought is the wife of the Pharaoh, who is, of course, well praised, as we know, for being a good person. CP is aware of this. He can see the Arabic, he reads the Arabic, and yet he's referring to these women as hookers in order to make the image of heaven in Islam to look as twisted as possible. Now, CP attempts to actually respond to this one, so let's check out his response.
He said that you will inherit from the people of the hellfire women. Okay, what is special about those women? Maybe education? No. Maybe they speak languages? No. Maybe they are good in computers? No. Your prophet said that they have nice vagina and they have nice boobs. So if those are not hookers, what they will be then? You see, when you say to me, I'm going to give you women, they have nice boobs and nice vagina. Isn't it this is about hookers? Because now their job, we know exactly what they will do. So you liar, you said it doesn't say that. But anyone, even he's blind, he can see that because your prophet described what kind of women they are. He did not say they are good women who have good honor. No. He did not say they are good ethic people. No. He did not. They are already in hellfire, you idiot. And what is good about them? Two things only. Only two things. Do you see it? The front is something you desire. Their boobs, the vagina.
So the first and most obvious distortion is that the report speaks nothing about breasts. CP keeps hammering this point again and again, and yet there is no mention of breasts in the hadith. Secondly, hookers do not have desirable front passages. I have no idea why you have this opinion, CP. Hookers tend to have gonorrhea, syphilis, crabs, and other infections in their private parts. So I don't know how this is a point for your funky interpretation.
CP has that opinion because CP doesn't know anything about Islam, not just Islam in general, but he does not know anything about this world, I think. He's still in the misconception about that. Or maybe he want to achieve this thing in his life and he wasn't able to. I don't know. There are several theories about it, but let's leave it. Let's leave it there.
I mean, to be honest, I do not see how this report has anything to do with hookers, because if you think about it, the two dirtiest things in existence are the private parts of hookers and the imagination of Christian Prince.
And the Christian Prince is in the lead, by the way.
Now, to be fair, the narration doesn't speak about the characteristics of these women. It doesn't speak about their sexual abilities. It doesn't speak about their goodness and their character. However, if we take Islam, as a general context, the Quran, the Sunnah, we generally see the trend that good believing women are the ones that end up in heaven. So this narration is speaking about those good believing monotheistic women. They are the ones that end up going to heaven, and their husbands who are corrupt, who are pagans, who are disbelievers, end up going to hell. And that's why the narration refers to them as being inherited. Now keep in mind, this hadith isn't even authentic in the first place, but more on that later. In any case, CP is distorting the report based on his projections. The only way for it to make any sense and for this to have to do with hookers is with him twisting it in this fashion, adding the word boobs in the report, and the report doesn't say boobs. In all honesty, I mean, there's something definitely wrong with this man.
So my friend, your heaven is heaven of hookers, and you yourself, you are a hooker, because the man who sleep with hookers, he is a hooker too.
Yeah, all right. Well, CP, you see, sleeping with a hooker doesn't make someone a hooker. Sleeping with a hooker makes someone, I don't know, a customer or something. It doesn't make you a hooker.
CP knows the concepts before even that exist. Seems like a person knows something beyond the knowledge of human being, I guess.
In any case, again, I don't accept the hadith, so. And now we can move on to the last and most important point.
This is God?
Okay, so let's check out the hadith again. Notice in the bottom left side of the screen, it says, this is da'if, this is a weak hadith.
And yeah, make sure that if you are watching it, note it down and check that hadith. It's da'if, already mentioned as by me, and brother Farid also mentioned it. But make sure that you keep in check as well.
All right, let's go back to Christian Prince. You cannot see the word life. You cannot see that this is a rejected hadith. He has purposefully hid that away from the caller. He doesn't want the caller to be aware that he's quoting a weak hadith. Now, I know Christian Prince doesn't care about that. He will quote weak hadiths, and he says that there's no issue with quoting weak hadiths, but then why are you showing the caller that the hadith has been graded as weak? What's really interesting is CP avoids my accusation. I accused him, of course, of removing the part that says that the hadith is weak. He has never responded to that point. However, he has more to say. Check it out.
Well, anyone can go right now and search in YouTube. He will find this guy, his name Sheikh Hamza, and he explained to the little one like you that da'if hadith is accepted.
A da'if hadith cannot be taken into the matters of aqaid, I guess, and it can be written down when it talks about like in the Fazail Amal or those kind of stuff.
But there's an attack on weak hadiths in our time. A weak hadith is anywhere from a B minus to a D minus. All right? A Hasan hadith is a B to an A minus. And then a Sahih hadith, I'm just using a language you can understand. An A minus.
Fifi, he is using a language you can understand. Just remember that. Okay? So I hope you can understand this. I mean, it's not hard for you. You are smart. A language you can understand, you little one. You claim that you are a Muslim. All of you are a bunch of potatoes. Claim to know, but you are the last one to know. The same as Muhammad. His wife was a cheater on him, and he is the last one to know. Continue, Mr. Sheikh Hamza.
Is like a Sahih hadith is from an A to an A plus to 100%. Mutawatir is 100%. Al-Bukhari is like 98%, 99%. Muslim and Bukhari 99%. Sahih Muslim 97%.
By the way, CP, why are you even quoting Hamza Yusuf's opinion on this topic? He isn't an expert in the field. Maybe you should quote Imam Murrah next time.
So a weak hadith is not thrown out. Just like a professor doesn't throw out a paper that gets a D minus. It didn't flunk.
It didn't funk, you idiot. It didn't funk, you idiot.
Yeah, this clip is kind of funny. Hamza Yusuf says flunk, which means fail. He didn't say funk. Funk is a type of music, but I'm the idiot, right?
Out. Just like a professor doesn't throw out a paper that gets a D minus. It didn't flunk. It passed. And so when the ulama say it's a weak hadith, it passed.
It passed. This is why it's called weak, you donkey. Weak, it means it have a rank. This is why they call it weak. You are stupid. You are officially stupid.
What does that stupid means? Like, never heard before.
Weak is a rank of the Sahih hadith, which means, let us say, as he said, he explained to you, there's A, B, C, D. But all of them, they pass, which means they are true, said by the Prophet. There's no proof against that the Prophet said. This is why it have a rank, you donkey. And I apologize from all donkeys in the world to say the word donkey, because I should not insult donkeys. Listen carefully what he said. Maybe you are slow.
Alright, CP, let's actually listen to what Hamza Yusuf has to say in the full context.
It's called a hadith da'if because the margin of error is greater than in a hasan or a sahih. So how did the ulama deal with that? The ulama dealt with it by saying that for fada'il al-a'mal, those actions that are virtuous, you could use a weak hadith if it was a virtuous action and it didn't relate to a hukm. In Aqidah, the opinion of the Ash'ari and the Maturidi is the hadith has to be mutawatir.
Oh, so Hamza Yusuf isn't even talking about weak hadiths in general. He's talking about fada'il al-a'mal. Yeah, so you see, the part that CP left out is Hamza Yusuf talking about fada'il al-a'mal. So what are fada'il al-a'mal? So fada'il al-a'mal are matters that are already established in Islam, but the report speaks of the benefits and rewards of doing that. Now, for example, an example of fada'il al-a'mal would be, let's say hypothetically, there's a hadith that says, giving to charity for a week cleanses you from sins for that week. Now, this hadith, hypothetically, is a weak hadith, and it is established in Islam that charity is a recommended action. Now, you do not know that this hadith is said by the Prophet, peace be upon him. However, since charity is already established in Islam, you are recommended to do charity based on other hadiths and this hadith. So that's how fada'il al-a'mal works. Now, Hamza Yusuf himself clearly states that weak hadiths cannot be used in ideological matters. And this hadith, according to Christian Prince's interpretation, is an ideological matter, since he's arguing that all bad hookers go to heaven. So no, evil hookers going to heaven is not a part of fada'il al-a'mal. And yes, CP, the source that you have provided is refuting you.
Brother just refuted him on the face like it was nothing. He is really well read in these situations, in these conditions, and about these topics. So make sure that you are reading as well, at least not to refute somebody else, but at least you know that what you are believing in is right.
And now that I'm done with the 3 main points, and CP's, well, actually 2 main points, and CP's responses to them, I can get to some of the other points that he's mentioned that I feel should be refuted. One of those arguments that he's posed is this clip by Hamza Yusuf.
In other words, it's something that cannot be proven to not have been said by the Prophet.
Did you hear, you liar? You said I did lie, and you said this is rejected. Hadith which is weak, there's no way to prove it's not been said by the Prophet. This is why it's given a rank of weak, you idiot liar. So who is the liar here?
Hamza Yusuf is actually referring to the concept of proving a negative. Now, yes, he's arguing that you can never prove that the Prophet never said something. However, there's no conflict between that and the idea that there is insufficient evidence for the attribution of this hadith to the Prophet, peace be upon him. I hope that makes sense. If you didn't quite get it, CP, then please do re-loop this section of the video a few times. Anyways, here are some more clips that I felt needed to be addressed.
And why through centuries this hadith is written since when? Why nobody says this is rejected, throw in the garbage? Why it's in the book?
Actually, it was weakened by Ibn al-Qaysarani in the Dhakhira around 1,000 years ago.
And I will call it a knockout.
Like there's a guy, his name is Al-Albani. You know, me myself, I witnessed I witnessed him. He died just a few years ago. This guy now is coming to correct and say Sahih and weak. I mean, it's stupid.
This statement shows CP's ignorance, since the grading of hadiths has been going on for centuries. And as I've demonstrated seconds ago, Ibn al-Qaysarani graded this hadith as well as others.
Mr. Fifi, as long you accept Sahih Hadith, why you did not mention to to apostate prophet that your prophet, he said that the sun set in murky water? And it is Sahih, not only Sahih, it's Sahih chain, which means both. Why you did not quote that for him, you liar, coward, as long you refuse only Da'if? Why you don't accept this one? Is this one Da'if? Is it Da'if? Is it Da'if?
In the previous clip, CP was arguing that I'm hypocritical because I rejected the hadith that was referred to as Sahih by Al-Albani. Now, I have a surprise for you, CP. I'm not bound to the gradings of Al-Albani. I'm actually a qualified student of hadith that has the ability to judge hadiths for himself. And I've proven that, and I've shown the mistake in the report that was quoted in the Apostate Prophet video. So I'm going to link that in the description for those that want to check it out. And finally, on to the biggest lie in this video.
Ibn Majah say it is Sahih. Mr. Farid, who have high school, he said it's not Sahih. For sure he knew.
Now Ibn Majah doesn't comment on this hadith.
Why you Muslim even writing the hadith if it's a lie? If this is a lie, why it's in the book? It's called Sahih Ibn Majah. Guys, the name of the book, the correct hadith.
The book isn't called Sahih Ibn Majah. It's called Sunan Ibn Majah. And here's a little clip of CP slipping up.
They are Sahih. There is 6 authentic writers of hadith, and this is one of them. Sunan Ibn Majah.
And there you have it, guys. I'm really happy, CP, that you've given me this opportunity to shatter the aura of invincibility that you have around you. Habibi, thank you. Please do more. You have 68 videos, maybe. I think it's up to maybe 71. I think there's a video that came out yesterday. You have a lot of work to do, Habibi. Keep going at it. There's some people that are being affected by my videos, so you need to keep on doing what you're doing. I'll see you guys in the next one. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And that's it for today.
You little you wanna refute me? Me? You're right.